In the tranquil yet potent philosophy of Stoicism, we uncover truths that guide us through life's tumultuous waves. Stoicism teaches us the art of detachment and the power of inner fortitude, reminding us that the essence of our being is not tied to external circumstances, but to our reactions to them. As we navigate the intricate web of human relationships, Stoicism offers a beacon of wisdom, especially when we encounter toxic or detrimental connections, even if they are with those closest to us, our family and friends. Herein, we explore 11 signs that, from a Stoic perspective, signify it's time to end a relationship or teacher, ensuring our journey towards virtue and tranquility remains unhampered. And hey, before we begin, if you're keen on cultivating your wisdom, join our community to evolve together by pressing the subscribe button below and activating the notification bell. Now, let's delve into the video. 1. The erosion of virtue. Imagine stepping onto a path, your footsteps echoing the wisdom of those who walked before you, like Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic enlightenment. His words, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one," serve as a guidepost for our journey through life. But what happens when our path crosses with someone whose direction seems tantalizingly different? It's in these intersections that we face our most profound dilemmas. Now, have you ever found yourself in a relationship, be it friendship, love, or even professional, that slowly, almost imperceptibly, began to steer you away from your core principles and virtues? Perhaps it was a subtle shift, a compromise here, a justification there, until one day you looked in the mirror and realized the reflection staring back was a stranger to your own ideals. This, dear listener, is a signal, a wake-up call reminding us of the erosion of virtue. But let's pause for a moment. Why does this matter? Why should we heed Aurelius's counsel and tread the path of virtue in the first place? Imagine virtue as the compass that guides us through the stormiest of seas. It's our North Star, providing direction when the world around us is cloaked in shadow. When we deviate from this path, we're not just losing our way, we're losing ourselves. Relationships that draw us into vice rather than virtue chip away at our inner fortress. Stoicism teaches us that external circumstances do not define our happiness. It's our responses to them that matter. When we allow others to dictate our course, we surrender our power, our autonomy, and, ultimately, our peace. But here's the empowering part. Recognizing these signs of erosion is the first step toward reclaiming your path. It's about asking yourself, does this relationship enrich my life with virtue, or does it diminish it? This isn't about casting judgment on others, but rather about safeguarding your own character and integrity. So, what can you do if you find yourself in such a situation? Firstly, engage in some soul-searching. Reflect on your values and whether your current relationships honor those values. Marcus Aurelius didn't advocate for a life of isolation, but rather a life in alignment with virtue. It's possible to cherish and maintain relationships while staying true to your principles. Sometimes it involves setting boundaries, having honest conversations, or in some cases, choosing to walk away to remain true to your path. Let's not forget, the journey of virtue is not a solitary one. Surround yourself with those who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, and who walk the path of virtue alongside you. These are the relationships that not only withstand the test of time, but also enrich your soul and lead you toward becoming the best version of yourself. In conclusion, let this reflection be a call to action. Take a moment to examine the relationships in your life. Are they leading you toward virtue or away from it? Remember, it's never too late to adjust your course, to choose virtue, to choose yourself. As you continue your journey, let the wisdom of the Stoics illuminate your path, guiding you back to your principles, back to virtue, and ultimately back to your true self. 2. Suppression of growth. In the realm of personal development and self-improvement, Seneca stands out as a beacon, illuminating the path to inner growth and enlightenment. His belief in the expansion of the soul through introspection and self-enhancement is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. But what happens when we find ourselves tethered to connections that suffocate our growth, that dim the vibrant light within us? This contradiction to our pursuit of betterment is a crucial signal, urging us to reflect and perhaps make bold changes. Have you ever felt as though your wings were clipped by the very relationships that are supposed to uplift and support you? It's as if the air around you becomes stagnant, suffocating, preventing you from soaring to new heights. This suppression of growth is anathema to the Stoic journey, a journey that is all about transcending our current selves in pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and a deeper understanding of life. Why, you might wonder, is growth so pivotal? To grow is to live fully. It is through the challenges we face and the reflections we engage in that we uncover layers of ourselves previously unknown. Growth is the essence of life's dynamic nature, pushing us to explore, to question, and to evolve. A relationship that hinders this natural progression not only limits our potential, but also encroaches upon our very essence. But here lies the power of awareness. By recognizing the signs of a stifling relationship, you ignite the first spark towards change. It's about asking the tough questions. Is this connection nourishing my soul? Is it propelling me forward or holding me back? Seneca's wisdom reminds us that growth is non-negotiable in the pursuit of a fulfilled life. So, what's the next step if you find yourself in a bond that dims your light? The key is in fostering environments and relationships that are conducive to your growth. This might mean seeking out communities that share your values, that challenge you intellectually, and inspire you to stretch beyond your current limits. It's about creating a space where your light doesn't just flicker but burns brightly, illuminating not only your path, but also the paths of those around you. Consider this a moment of reflection, an opportunity to evaluate the influences in your life. Are they sources of inspiration or suppression? Remember, growth is not merely an aspect of your journey, it is the journey itself. To commit to growth is to commit to a life of continuous learning, adapting, and evolving. Let this discourse serve as a catalyst for your own introspection. Embrace the courage to make changes where necessary, to seek out connections that empower you, and to live in alignment with the Stoic principles of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Your journey towards becoming the best version of yourself is not just a personal triumph, but a testament to the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. 3. The reign of negative emotions. Envision yourself embarking on a transformative journey, one where every step forward is a testament to your growth, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to self-improvement. Seneca, a sage whose insights continue to illuminate the path of seekers centuries later, championed the growth of the soul through reflection and relentless pursuit of betterment. But what happens when we find ourselves tethered to connections that, rather than propelling us forward, seem to hold us back, dimming the brilliance of our inner light? This brings us to a pivotal realization. Not all connections foster our growth. Some, in fact, might weave invisible chains around our potential, making it increasingly difficult to reach for the stars. Seneca's wisdom invites us to scrutinize our relationships through the lens of personal growth. Does this connection nourish my soul? Does it challenge me to stretch beyond my perceived limits, or does it confine me to a smaller version of myself? Now let's delve deeper into the realm of our emotions, guided by the Stoic principle of mastering the tempest within. Stoicism does not teach us to suppress our emotions, but rather to navigate through them with wisdom, discernment, and an unwavering focus on our higher self. Yet, if we find ourselves ensnared in relationships where the prevailing winds are those of resentment, anger, or sorrow, we must pause and reflect. These turbulent emotions, when they become the backdrop of our interactions, signal a departure from the Stoic path of inner peace and equilibrium. Consider for a moment the profound impact of these negative emotions on our soul's landscape. Like relentless waves against a steadfast cliff, they wear us down, eroding our inner peace and obscuring our vision of who we can become. Stoicism offers us a lantern in the dark, a way to transcend beyond these shackles, reminding us that we possess the power to choose our response, to choose not to dwell in negativity. But how do we liberate ourselves from these chains? The answer lies in the courage to confront these emotions, to understand their origins, and to make conscious choices that align with our higher goals. It may involve setting boundaries, engaging in open and honest dialogues, or sometimes making the difficult decision to part ways in pursuit of a path that brings us closer to tranquility and self-fulfillment. Let this be a moment of awakening, a call to embrace the Stoic pursuit of serenity and personal growth. Examine the relationships in your life under the magnifying glass of these Stoic principles. Are they conduits of growth and positivity, or do they anchor you to a harbor of stagnation and turmoil? In the end, remember that the journey of self-improvement is an ongoing odyssey, one that is enriched by those who inspire us to rise, to reflect, and to relentlessly pursue the best version of ourselves. Surround yourself with those who light your path toward growth and inner peace, and let the wisdom of Seneca and the Stoics guide you in cultivating relationships that are not just connections, but catalysts of transformation. 4. Compromise of inner peace. Have you ever paused to consider where true peace originates? Epictetus, a sage of ancient wisdom, illuminated this path by teaching that the essence of tranquility resides within us, untouched by the external tumult. Imagine the serenity of a deep ocean, untroubled by the storms raging above. This inner sanctuary, according to Stoic philosophy, is ours to preserve and cherish. But what happens when we allow the chaos of a turbulent relationship to breach these tranquil depths? In our journey through life, we encounter relationships that challenge our peace, pushing us towards emotional tempests. These interactions, though often rich with love and passion, can sometimes become the very obstacles to our Stoic calm. The wisdom of Epictetus prompts us to question, are we sacrificing our inner sanctuary for fleeting moments of happiness wrapped in turmoil? Reflect on the moments when your heart's peace was compromised, swayed by the storms of discord and misunderstanding. It's in these times that Stoicism offers a beacon of hope, urging us to anchor our happiness not in the external, but in the mastery of our thoughts and emotions. The challenge lies not in avoiding the storm, but in remaining undisturbed by its fury. But how can we apply this ancient wisdom to modern relationships? It begins with the realization that our reactions are the only territory completely under our control. By cultivating an inner citadel of calm, we can face life's storms with equanimity, transforming our relationships into havens of mutual growth and understanding rather than battlegrounds for our peace. Let us then embark on this quest for inner serenity, armed with the knowledge that the only true barrier to Stoic tranquility is allowing external chaos to dictate our inner state. By reclaiming our inner peace, we not only honor the teachings of Epictetus, but also forge relationships that enrich rather than diminish our tranquility. 5. Dependency over autonomy. Within the heart of Stoicism lies a profound respect for self-sufficiency and the sovereign command over one's existence. Imagine yourself as the master of your ship, navigating through the tempestuous seas of life. Now, ponder this. How does it feel when the oars are snatched from your hands, leaving you adrift at the mercy of another's whims? This is the essence of a bond that cultivates dependence rather than autonomy. Such a connection acts as a barrier to the Stoic path, a path that champions the strength found in steering one's course. Why is autonomy so vital, you might wonder? Picture this. Each decision you make, every step you take, is a brick in the foundation of your life. When autonomy is surrendered, you're handing over the bricks of your foundation to someone else. Is that a risk you're willing to take? In embracing self-reliance, you're not only crafting a life that's truly yours, but also fortifying yourself against the unpredictability of existence. You become resilient, adaptable, and most importantly, free. Reflect on your relationships and the dynamics within them. Are they fostering your growth, encouraging you to flourish in your independence, or do they tether you, subtly eroding your self-sufficiency? It's crucial to recognize that genuine support and love should empower you, not confine you. It should be the wind beneath your wings, propelling you to soar higher, not the anchor dragging you down. Here's a call to action for you. Start small. Assess an area of your life where you've relinquished control and take one step towards reclaiming it. This could be as simple as setting personal boundaries, or as significant as making a decision that aligns with your values, not someone else's expectations. Remember, the journey to autonomy is a series of steps, not a leap. In wrapping up, let's nurture a community where independence is celebrated and dependence is understood as a temporary state, not a permanent condition. By fostering autonomy, we don't just follow the Stoic way, we pave a path towards a life of freedom, resilience, and true happiness. Isn't that a journey worth embarking on? 6. Contradiction to nature. In the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a principle that is both profound and transformative, living in harmony with nature. This isn't just about the natural environment that surrounds us, but also about aligning our inner world with the universal laws of existence. It's a concept that invites us to flow with the current of life, rather than against it. But here's a thought to ponder. What happens when we find ourselves entangled in relationships that feel more like swimming upstream rather than floating downriver? Relationships that are, at their core, unnatural or forced, stand in stark contrast to this principle, don't they? Imagine trying to plant a cactus in the heart of a lush rainforest. It doesn't quite fit, does it? This metaphor mirrors those relationships that drain our energy and spirit because they are not in sync with our true nature or the natural flow of life. The Stoics would argue that such connections lack authenticity, for they do not emerge or grow from a place of genuine compatibility or shared values. Instead, they are often the result of societal pressures, misplaced desires, or even a misguided sense of obligation. Have you ever found yourself holding on to a relationship out of fear, habit, or because it's what you think you should do, rather than because it brings joy and growth into your life? Here lies the invitation for introspection and courage. To live according to nature means to have the bravery to let go of those bonds that are fundamentally unnatural or forced. It's about recognizing that every individual has their unique path to follow, and sometimes that means paths diverge. It's not an easy journey, but it's a worthwhile one. Imagine the liberation and peace that comes from aligning your relationships with the natural flow of your life. Think about the deep, authentic connections that are possible when you're not trying to force a square peg into a round hole. So, what action can we take today? Start by reflecting on your relationships. Ask yourself, which ones lift you up and which ones feel like they're pulling you down. This isn't about making immediate sweeping changes, but rather about becoming aware. Awareness is the first step towards transformation. And remember, this journey is not just about letting go, it's also about opening up space in your life for relationships that are truly in harmony with your nature. In embracing this Stoic wisdom, we're not only invited to reevaluate our connections with others, but also to forge a deeper relationship with ourselves. It's a path towards authenticity, where each step is guided by the natural flow of our true essence. So let's ask ourselves, are we ready to align our lives with the effortless flow of nature, embracing connections that nourish our souls and discarding those that don't? This journey towards natural harmony is not just transformative, it's a return to ourselves. 7. Absence of mutual respect. At the heart of Stoic philosophy, respect isn't just an added bonus in relationships. It's the very bedrock upon which they are built. Imagine a majestic ancient building standing tall and proud. What keeps it upright? Its foundation strong and unyielding. Similarly, respect in a relationship is that foundation, providing the strength and stability for the connection to flourish. However, a poignant question arises. What becomes of a relationship when this cornerstone is missing? It's akin to a building trying to stand tall without its base, a recipe for eventual collapse. Reflect for a moment on the essence of mutual respect. It's not merely about polite gestures or surface-level niceties. True respect delves deeper, recognizing and valuing the humanity, boundaries, and individuality of another person. It's a mutual understanding that despite differences, each person is worthy of dignity and consideration. But when this respect starts to erode, or worse, if it was never truly there, the relationship becomes unsustainable. It's like trying to hold water in your hands when your fingers are parted. No matter how hard you try, it just can't be contained. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt undervalued, or perhaps you've witnessed a relationship where one person seems to overshadow the other? It's a disheartening reality that signals a significant disconnect from the Stoic ideal of relationships rooted in mutual respect. The absence of this fundamental element is a clear sign, a beacon, guiding us towards a difficult but necessary decision, the decision to part ways. Now, this isn't about assigning blame or harboring resentment. On the contrary, it's a recognition of a fundamental mismatch, an acknowledgement that for growth and happiness to flourish, sometimes separation is the kindest choice. It's an act of courage, a step towards self-respect, and a move towards creating space for healthier, more fulfilling connections. So what's our call to action? Begin with self-reflection. Consider the dynamics of your relationships through the lens of mutual respect. Do they uplift you, recognizing your worth and boundaries? Or do they leave you feeling diminished? This introspection isn't an easy task, but it's a vital one. It's about choosing not to settle for less than you deserve, about respecting yourself enough to walk away from what no longer serves you. In the wisdom of Stoicism, we're reminded that every ending is also a beginning. Parting ways, though painful, opens the door to new possibilities, to relationships that are built on the solid ground of mutual respect. It's an opportunity to realign with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with virtue, where respect isn't just expected, but is the very essence of connection. Let's embrace this journey, not as a loss, but as a step closer to authenticity and genuine fulfillment in our relationships. 8. Eclipse of Reason. In the labyrinth of life, where reason and logic serve as our guiding stars, the philosophy of Stoicism shines as a beacon, illuminating the path to serenity and wisdom. Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads, bewitched by the allure of a relationship that, while intoxicating, begins to cloud your judgment, steering you away from the clear waters of rational thought. This, my friends, is what I like to call the eclipse of reason. Why do we term it an eclipse, you might wonder? Much like the celestial event where the light of the sun is temporarily obscured, a relationship that dims our rationality is a temporary deviation from our true path. Stoicism, a school of philosophy that teaches the virtue of reason, asserts that to live a life of contentment and enlightenment, one must remain steadfast in the pursuit of wisdom and self-discipline. But how does one navigate through the fog of emotions that such relationships bring? It's through embracing the core tenets of Stoicism, understanding that while we cannot control the actions of others, we have the power to control our reactions and emotions. It's about asking ourselves, is this relationship enriching my life? Or is it a departure from my journey toward rational enlightenment? Let me share a personal anecdote. Once I found myself ensnared in the tendrils of a relationship that, while passionate, began to erode my connection to reason. It was only through a stoic introspection, a dialogue with my inner self, that I realized the path I had strayed from. This realization wasn't easy, but it was necessary for my growth. So I invite you to reflect. Are you nurturing a bond that fosters your growth in wisdom and virtue, or have you too witnessed an eclipse of reason? Remember, it's never too late to recalibrate your compass, to steer back to the harbors of reason and rationality. Let this discourse not end here, but continue in your minds and conversations, for it's through collective reflection that we unearth the most profound insights on our journey through life. 9. The Tyranny of Excess. In the realm of Stoicism, a pursuit for balance permeates every aspect of life. This ancient philosophy implores us to embrace moderation, a golden mean that steers us away from the extremes that often unsettle our inner harmony. But what happens when we find ourselves entangled in the clutches of excess, especially within the intricacies of relationships? It's a conundrum that beckons us to reflect. Are we veering away from the equilibrium that Stoicism teaches us to cherish? Consider the emotional, financial, or any other form of demands that may burgeon within the dynamics of a relationship. Stoics argue that these excessive expectations are not just a deviation from balance, they're a form of tyranny. A tyranny that ensnares our tranquility, disrupts our mental peace, and distances us from the Stoic ideal of harmony within. It's here that the question arises, how do we navigate these tumultuous waters without losing sight of our Stoic compass? The answer lies in cultivating a deep-rooted understanding of moderation. Imagine walking a tightrope, where each step is a testament to the equilibrium you strive to maintain. In relationships, this means setting boundaries, engaging in open communication, and, most importantly, practicing self-reflection. By recognizing the signs of excess and addressing them head-on, we pave the way for healthier, more balanced connections. But it's not just about avoidance. It's about nurturing an environment where mutual growth and understanding flourish. Now, I invite you to ponder on this. In your own life, where do you see the tyranny of excess taking hold? Is it in the demands you place on yourself, or perhaps the expectations you harbor towards others? The journey towards Stoic balance is not a solitary endeavor, but a communal voyage. Together, let's embark on this path of moderation, where every step forward is a stride towards a life marked by harmony and equilibrium. By fostering this balance, we not only liberate ourselves from the chains of excess, but also open our hearts to the profound beauty of Stoic simplicity. 10. Sacrifice of freedom. At the heart of Stoicism lies a profound reverence for personal freedom and the unending quest for wisdom. These pillars support not just a philosophy, but a way of life that champions the sovereignty of the individual and their journey towards enlightenment. But what happens when we stumble upon crossroads in our relationships where these sacred principles are asked to be compromised? It's a situation that nudges us to introspect. Are we forsaking our core beliefs for the sake of harmony? Relationships, in their most enriching form, should serve as conduits for growth and understanding, not arenas for the forfeiture of our fundamental freedoms. Stoics teach us that to surrender one's autonomy or cease the pursuit of wisdom for another's sake is to stray from the path of Stoicism. This isn't just a deviation, it's a contradiction to the essence of Stoic virtue. How then do we ensure that our relationships amplify rather than diminish our quest for personal freedom and wisdom? The key lies in mutual respect and the celebration of individuality within the bond of companionship. Imagine a relationship where each person is a lighthouse, standing firm in their solitude, yet guiding each other through the tempests of life. In such unions, the sacrifice of freedom is not a requirement, but a red flag. It calls for a recalibration of the relationship dynamics, where open dialogue and understanding pave the way for a partnership that thrives on the enrichment of each individual's journey. Now let me pose this question. In your relationships, have you ever felt the pressure to dim your light of freedom or halt your pursuit of wisdom? Reflect on the strength that Stoicism imparts, reminding us that true connections are those that encourage us to flourish in our individuality while walking side by side. As we navigate through our interpersonal bonds, let's strive to cultivate environments where freedom and wisdom are not just preserved, but are vibrantly thriving. Through this, we not only honor our Stoic principles, but also build relationships that are deeply fulfilling and inherently free. 11. The illusion of control. Remember Epictetus's golden words, "We cannot control external events, but we can control our response." In the tapestry of Stoicism, the wisdom of Epictetus shines as a guiding star, illuminating a truth profound yet simple, the line between what is within our control and what lies beyond it. This principle, fundamental to our serenity, teaches us the futility of trying to reign over the external chaos, the unpredictable whirlwinds of life. Yet within the sanctum of relationships, we often find ourselves ensnared in the illusion of control, striving to mold others to our expectations. This pursuit, not only futile but contrary to the essence of Stoicism, begs us to question, are we drifting away from the Stoic path by forgetting the true locus of our control? The endeavor to change or control another within the bounds of a relationship is akin to trying to calm the stormy seas with a mere breath. Stoicism nudges us towards a different approach, one that centers on harnessing our reactions, our attitudes, and our inner resilience. It's a journey inward, focusing on fortifying our own citadel of peace rather than extending our dominion over others. But how do we cultivate such Stoic mindfulness in our relationships? It begins with embracing acceptance and fostering an environment where personal growth is encouraged but not enforced. Picture a relationship where each individual is a gardener of their own soul, tending to their growth with patience and introspection, rather than overstepping into the garden of another. In such a dynamic, the beauty of individuality blooms freely, nourished by mutual respect and the understanding that we are architects of our own inner peace. Now consider this. Have you ever found yourself caught in the web of trying to control or change someone in your relationships? Reflect on the liberating power of focusing on what truly lies within your control, your responses, your emotions, your actions. As we navigate through the complexities of our connections with others, let's anchor ourselves in the wisdom of Stoicism. By doing so, we not only foster healthier, more authentic relationships, but also journey closer to the tranquility and resilience that define the Stoic way of life. Remember, in the grand theatre of existence, our power lies not in controlling the play, but in performing our part with grace and poise. As Stoics, we are on a perpetual quest for wisdom, virtue, and tranquility. Relationships that hinder this journey, no matter how closely tied by blood or history, require us to bravely reconsider their place in our lives. It is not in abandonment that we seek solace, but in the alignment with our highest self and the Stoic principles that guide us. Let us then, with courage and clarity, navigate the complexities of human connections, always aiming to cultivate relationships that resonate with our deepest truths and foster our Stoic quest for a life well lived. Friends, join us on our journey of self-discovery and growth through Stoicism. Let us know in the comments how Stoicism has been helping in your life. Subscribe now to learn how to find serenity and inner strength amidst life's challenges.